Emotionally draining.
It's not really fair. Got all this video.
Schedule that. You want to join?
They don't know.
All right, if you'll all have a seat, we'll start again.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Josh McQuaid with data processing.
Hello. Yep, my name is Joshua McQuaid. I'm the IT director here for City of Vienna now for just a little over a month. I've assumed the role since like August or so. I kind of wanted to just break down where we were when I took over and where we're at now. So this is kind of like just a gist of like just the main things that weren't working at the time, because we were just in the beginning of a network migration from Sega to.
Will you zoom in? Will you zoom in just a little bit for us, please? We'll zoom in.
It's the other end, Josh.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a nice PowerPoint, but it left me. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys probably seen, months and months ago, the LED sign was displaying stuff that was pretty old. I had no way of communicating with it for quite a while. I did get, access into that, and it's working. I'm gonna put anything up right now if I need to. There was no fax machines for free like months, and that was something that a lot of people were like, hey, especially the police department. Like that's how they get a lot of their stuff. I think it was not even a week after I assumed the responsibilities of it, I got that working. So all fax machines are up and working now at the city. All the wireless network, we used Unify, which is the same as our camera systems. Everything, all the controllers were outdated. Everything was down wireless-wise. I rebuilt the wireless network citywide, and working with getting guest networks set up at like the parks, so people can have access there if they're visiting, the facilities there. Yeah, all the cameras, of course. I mean, besides the Verkada, we had like 10 Verkada cameras. Those were working, but all the Unify cameras that we had everywhere around the city were not working. I've gotten about 90, I'd say now 90%, and the reason being that some of the nano beams that is also ubiquity have fried. I'm actually down to the point now where I don't have any extra spares, but we have a new wireless nano beam system I need to put up. It's just the weather really. The bucket truck is how I have to get up to these places, and with snow and I don't want to tear up Jackson Park trying to get a camera up. So just kind of waiting on that. But the second that the weather clears up, I mean, I'll get that day, and the next will be up and running. McDonough was down for quite some time. That's something I didn't put on here. I was remembering because of the mesh, the nano beam being down, but I repaired that. The emergency phones also at the time were not working, but now are. The VPN for the police officers to be able from their cars to get into the internal network for their programs that they use was not working, and I got that reestablished so that is working. The wireless upload of police cruiser dash cam video, I've got that. I can't say, I was working real hard this morning trying to get that where I can check. I have it wirelessly uploading. I still have to path all the stuff into the Google system still. That'll be like Monday up and running, hopefully. The maintenance garage down at the utility department, I can't tell you how long. It was a good few months. There was no service out there at all. It was one of those spots that just wasn't thought of with the migration. But I got that up and running, connected phone system and internet. Everything down there is working now. there was a lot of phones in like the utility department, but also different places around the city offices that weren't working, like either because like, needed new lines ran or like an issue with like the how they programmed the phone. Most of those have been restored. I'm still waiting to get a few more phone numbers added for fire department emergency response room and little things like names changed on the phones. A lot of that, even though I'm a admin for the phone system with how Sager has it set up, I'm like a pretend admin. I have to kind of rely on them. They make the major changes. As you, I mean, I'm sure everyone knew, but the council live stream wasn't working right for a while. That's been fixed. We're now 4K. I'd like to improve on that too a little bit more as we go along. Maybe get off of the go digital with our audio would make it sound crisper, but it's working great right now. I mean, the recently, like in the last few months, the utility department, the water towers, air fiber network, which is the big boys, like that shoot all across the city on the towers. That's how the water tanks talk to the water department. That was that had to be reconfigured. It was not working for a while and just didn't realize quite, but it's up and fixed now too. And on our backup, one of the Synology NASs actually like fried pooped itself, for lack of a better word. I took that apart and was actually able to make electrical solder joints on the circuit board itself and fixed it. So we didn't have to replace it or anything. It was out of warranty, which was like one of the things that was kind of making me a little nervous, but that is repaired and it is working perfectly fine right now.
And what is that? The NOS?
Oh, the NAS, that is the network storage, like all the, like everything, everyone's profiles and everything they save on their iDrives and stuff. That's what that all is. That's not something that we want to lose. But we have, that was the backup of we have two right now, two Synology. So one is a copy of the other. So we still have the one. And since then, since I fixed them both, I make copies every day, right at about 3 o'clock. Do a copy of everything to back it up.
So that was not working, Josh? Did I understand that right?
Yeah, well, one of the Synology, the backup Synology NAS it fried, and it was actually, it was
So were we backing up?
Yes, it was the backup of the backup. Sorry. That sounds
Okay,
confusing.
I misunderstood, I guess, maybe what
Yeah,
you were
we have
saying.
two, and like one is the backup, and then the second one is like the copy of the. It's just a copy, and it's just in case something like that happens, we still have something. So, glad that worked. As like since these are out of warranty, we are virtualizing, doing a hybrid virtualization. I've still gotten to the point now where I'm caught up on everything for the most part, besides little things here and there. I've gotten a hold of Dell. We have the VX Rail. Everything's ready. We're just waiting for them to get up here and kind of help us with the whole pro deploy procedure. Something that was purchased with it, so might as well use it. I think that's about what was wrong. I can't really think of anything that's not really quite working right now. One thing that Mayor brought up that like is a great idea is getting back into the whole ticketing system thing. It's been just crazy just call, and I like try to get to it, but it's gotten to the point where it just stacks up. And I'm trying not to forget, but once in a while things slip through, and I don't like that. Plus, it'd be nice to be able to have a broke down procedure of what fixed it, what was wrong, and if it keeps occurring, if we know we need to replace it or something like that.
I have a question.
Okay.
Take me back to the camera situation. Last year at this time, we were told, hey, we had to get those Verkada cameras, everything else didn't work, and we budgeted, $50,000 for that. And I'm so grateful to hear that you've got the Ubiquity cameras up and working now. And while we do have some of the Verkada cameras, because at that time, the city bought some, to try to do this in a rolling placement. I know you can't guarantee anything, but I mean, are we looking at a solid camera system, or are we going to need to replace cameras?
Well, short answer, solid. We're solid. No, I can't. There's about 16 cameras throughout the city that were not working either. Just wouldn't power on, just because they were left out in the weather and they weren't maintained. Certain electrical surges, they weren't grounded properly. I was able to fix 4 of those. I've taken them apart and basically reflow and soldered. But the time that it took for me to be able to do that was, it was not really worth it. The only reason I did is because of COVID-19. There's shortage on everything, it seems. And that's where I'm at with the camera system. I am getting 4K cameras set up when I can, because with the current cameras you can't really make out if the police needed to figure out what that car's license plate was without a 4K camera. Unless it's right up close, you wouldn't be able to tell.
So,
now we'll be able to see. We are able to see at numerous locations.
So that brings me to my second part of this question. The Verkada, that was cloud storage, and we were looking at tens of thousands of dollars in cloud storage annually by going with that camera system. The camera system that you have now, that you anticipate should be working, that is not cloud-based storage, and so there's no other fees for that. It's stored right here on the machines that it runs to, right?
Yeah, we could do a cloud storage. That's a service they provide, it's just, pay subscription every month for the people to access it. And I haven't looked too into it. I'm sure there probably is fees for the more storage you have. But I've gotten NVRs loaded up with 8 terabytes. I wanted to make sure that every camera, especially because we're going 4K and it takes so much more data to save those videos, I wanted to make sure there was enough to where we have at least 3 weeks at least out, more depending on what cameras. For instance, the police department inside, process, interview room, those are just separate, not really for quite a while, to be able to give the officers some time to download that footage for whatever they may need it for.
Yeah, so that makes total sense. So you feel that a camera system using the NVR is sufficient for our needs, at least in most cases, and we do not probably need to go to a cloud storage fee-based system. The more you use, the more it's going to cost.
Yeah, no. And that's for Verkada, all the licenses expired on that we had around the city, and I didn't renew them because I got all the Ubiquity cameras up and running. So they're just kind of, I don't know what to do with them. We own them. That's what I talked to the Verkada guy. It just seems I asked a lot of the police officers which they prefer, system-wise, and a lot of them were telling me they like the Ubiquity. I personally like the Ubiquity. It's pretty simple to use. It's real straightforward. It's just real straightforward. Now I have it set up to where you can't access it externally. They have apps. I could pull it up on my phone right now and probably show you real fast.
That's okay.
Okay. Well, it's really cool because even though it's not on the cloud, we still have backups, and it's not
right.
Just
you have the backup.
and it's all rated together. So if there's a failed drive, we just hot swap it, and then we're still up and running.
Okay.
and I have those, like, a backup in like one in the city building, one in the police department, in the event that like a building caught on fire or something. That
So
would be,
redundancy built into the system.
yes.
Okay, so which is, I mean, I'm not looking at wanting to get into, cloud storage fees.
I
It
don't
just
think
gets to be
subscriptions-
crazy, like, we were talking, the chief was talking about subscriptions, and that's the way it goes, software for service. I deal with that in my business, and it just, every year, just keeps going up and up and up, and then you're like, man. So that's kind of where I feel with cloud storage. But,
I agree.
relying on your recommendation, I just,
I don't like the subscription. I think it's kind of a, I don't know, it's just like a money grabbing kind of technique. I mean, I get it, I guess, but I don't know.
I mean, there's certainly a lot of advantages to a cloud-based system, but there are also disadvantages to that.
Yeah, like the recording cameras we have, the subscription in it. Yeah, you can view it still, but it does not record now. But as to where like these unified cameras, we bought it, we paid once, we own it.
Right.
We can control it. We can, and it's not something that's just going to be, door stop if we don't pay for it. We already paid for it. So, and then of course, that's what the whole, like every camera in the city was ubiquity. So it just made sense to upgrade the controller and add those to it.
Okay.
Instead of buying like 100 new cameras.
Josh, you and Kim can have a continuation,
Sorry.
but would you take us through your budget now, please?
Yes. Okay, I'll just start at the very top here, and of course it's probably the biggest one that's like, and I totally get it, but it's the 43903 salaries and wages. I'm asking for a $22,112 increase for the wages of the IT department. That'd be $14,000 for the director and $8,112 for the technician position. There was a tremendous amount cut from the professional services, which put a lot more tasks that I like on our shoulders that we couldn't just call and have a local contractor company do the stuff for us. Not only that, but the average salary for an IT position, even like just in West Virginia, I put the numbers in with the budget here. But like the average for like an IT technician position was like roughly around 21, and the low for like a director was 98, and high was 160.
Excuse me, Mayor, Josh, I apologize, I do, but I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you. Maybe you step
Apologize.
over.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, the reason why I was asking for the raises is because if you look at what the IT director, like what I call them the hats. I wrote them down here. This is every single position. This is everything that IT director has to do, and it's multiple positions. This is a whole IT department, and it's wrapped up under one position. There's me, and now I have an assistant, Garrett, which he's a really cool guy. He actually just had a baby. So the thing is I love the city, and I love working here, and I love everyone that works here. I really want to stay, and it's just, I mean, I'm the third director. I thought if I was going to ask for it, I should ask for it right from the start instead of waiting a year or two, because it really comes down to that. I mean, I was already thinking about switching, careers, or not careers, but like places to work before all this, and I was just like, that wasn't right. because then like what the heck would the city do IT wise? Like it'd just be a big old. So actually I wanted to show, and like no one asked me to do this. This is like it was necessary in my opinion. But I was just going to show you like a general idea of this is like my timesheets from. So that's May. It's not. I mean, 80 hours every 2 weeks. It's not, but. So once we started getting into this is actual like where we started like actual the migration. That's the long, like I worked every day except for a Sunday on that week. And it was necessary. I wouldn't have been able to say that I got all this stuff done, especially as soon as I did, if I didn't put that amount of time in. And unfortunately, there's a lot of crap that needed done when no one was on the network because it would disrupt their workflow. But I'm dedicated, you know, like I really want to just do good. So do what's right is my philosophy, living. So I would like to see a wage increase for the IT department. Everything is kind of going IT now. There's a lot of responsibilities and duties. Sorry, Roger. There's just a lot of responsibilities that this position has that I just don't think that you know, like many people really realize. People may see me walking, you know, here in this police department, but they don't, you know, it's the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the IT, and like there's so much more going on. I mean, maintaining updates. The reason why we need to update computers is because if their hardware gets to the point where it's no longer supported, like with patches and updates with through Windows, then that causes holes in our network. That's why we kind of rotate computers every like 4 or 5 years, because just to keep up with that and how you know, the computing speed.
So I have a question about the salaries, because maybe I'm overlooking it in here. I see the big number, what the combined salary is. So what is your salary and what is the assistant's salary? So I know the baseline of where we're starting here.
Oh, the starting. So mine is 48,000, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say I don't actually know. I know like an hourly range, but I don't know a salary for the IT technician position.
Because the total salary is allocated, it's 107, so you're 48, so that, am I missing something? Because certainly your assistant doesn't make more than you do.
I don't think so.
Okay.
If not, I'd like to step down.
He included the increase in the number, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so, I see, so, but it was 101, now it's 107.
Well, I think what we were paying the previous person, and I'll look into that for you and get you good numbers.
Yeah, and one other question, when was the new person hired? Was
About a month ago.
a month ago. They were hired at the salary a month ago and now requesting $8,000 more. Am I understanding it correctly?
I believe so.
Thank you.
And that's actually me. He's not like twisting the leg, saying you gotta get me a raise too. It's just like it comes down. I mean, just like what Kevin was saying. I mean, that position is a specialized position. You got to go schooling for it, and if you can just get paid the same to work at, you know, any old down the road or.
Oh, I'm not asking you to defend it, I'm just trying to understand it.
Okay. I'm
So,
sorry. I didn't
don't
mean
take
to
it
think it was
personally,
like
I'm
that.
just
I was
getting the baseline.
Yeah. Okay. So, continuing onward. There's going to be. I don't have any change in the telephone, which is that's like the reimbursement, I guess, for like cell phone usage that we have. It's like $45 off of our bill or something every month. No change. I mean, that's great. Thank you. There'll be no change in the auto maintenance. Our, we have that truck, and it's good for hauling and stuff. But I mean, unless I have to, I just prefer to drive my car around or walk. If because most of the time it's just right here around the city. But it's running fine. It could definitely use a little bit of like TLC, but it's nothing that can't be like cheaply, taken care of. The line item 21, training and education, I was asking for a $1,000 increase in that, and that's just to add to learning any system that we have. Mainly the idea for that one was the Chronos timekeeping software. I was not involved initially in a lot of that training, so getting them to like get us up to speed with that. It's constantly we're learning. I mean, every day when I get home from work, I'm researching any kind of exploits that could infect the network here. Just learning. I love learning new stuffs. So that would just help us be able to maintain top-notch knowledge there. When it comes to the line item 22, dues and subscriptions, I was asking for an increase of 5,350. The main reason for that, and it's kind of weird, like how each department has like an IT budget. So I guess I wasn't like I was thinking that like if any Suddenlink modems were still lingering, that would have been coming out of my budget. I was requesting that one Suddenlink modem remain, like we still keep one bill as a kind of like I'm trying to keep, because of like the exploits with ubiquity and stuff, I just don't want to tap that into our network just in case. So it's just like I've actually built like a overlapping network that doesn't even touch our internal network, just to further lock down our data from any kind of breach or ransomware. And that would also be like for ticketing type system. Like we have the VMware, we have all this physical stuff. We just need a software, and then we should be good to go. That would also be an asset management system, which is something that IT department desperately needs to get back to. But I think that's everything for that line item.
Can we go back to 21 real quick?
Yeah.
Line item 21, on this increase you're asking, you specifically mentioned the Chronos, that you wasn't involved when that change was done. So my question is this: is $1,000? We got to have expertise on the Chronos.
Yes.
Period. I did payroll under a Chronos system, and I found it to be very complicated at times. So where do we stand now with that if there's an issue? Is human resources involved in that, or is that, or both, or do we know?
Both.
Okay.
Anything that I don't have an answer to or don't know how to do, I immediately learn it.
As far as the hardware and software aspects of the Chronos, you feel that you should have the training to do that? Is that what because I do, okay? I do, having worked with that so-called system.
It would not hurt at all. I don't want to say yes and make it seem like I'm incompetent, not able to do that system, because all programs are got the same foundation basically. I'm able to navigate it. I'm able to make changes for the most part. There is a bit more more in-depth, complicated changes that we're looking at right now, especially like with the half-day holiday that last year, that would just it would just be so much easier to have a Kronos teach me instead of me trying to
Okay.
teach myself.
Thank you.
So for line item 23, professional services, I was asking for pretty much most of everything that we got that was taken out of it last year, put back in. The fibrous network for the water tanks, all those have been were purchased back in like 2014. They're like well beyond their replacement age. They're still working, but we're going to have a company like Miller's help us put up new air fibers at all these towers. I can't climb up. I mean, I could, but I don't know the legalities of climbing up that tower. Plus, it probably is really scary. So, but that's it's one of literally. It's like 5 or 6 different places that it would be. I don't know how much that would cost, to be honest. I don't know. I was just trying to throw that back in there to help assist with getting that straightened out, because we don't have any extras of those right now. So if one of those go down, we'd have to immediately purchase one and get someone, and I'm sure that would be even more expensive. So I'm pretty much a do it myself kind of person, so I can't really think of anything else really I would not be able to do myself. But I can't predict what will fall apart next. The line item 41, materials and supplies, I was asking for an increase of $7,000. That would be for the nano beams and the just really everything. I mean, if we get some more cameras, that'd be cool. But more so just anything. There's quite a bit of stuff that needs replaced. That's well beyond rotation, not just the end user computers. Hard drives now. The new technology is NVMe. It's an M.2 and it runs off of a PCIe side of the bus, which I know sounds like probably Chinese, but it's quick. It's 10 gigs a second, which is going to, instead of having a police officer sit there and wait for something to download onto a flash drive that takes 30 minutes, it'd be done in 30 seconds. That kind of stuff would help make every department more productive. The whole shortage has made the prices of stuff significantly more expensive too. I've actually had to think of think outside of the box when it comes to the computer rotation updates, and I'm still having trouble finding someone who has 21 Surface Pro 7s right now. That's where we're it's just any computer desktop through the normal SHI vendors. All of them are on back order. The only ones that aren't are junk. Basically, and then I broke down here, not to skip over auto supplies and uniforms, no change. Computer rotation. I broke down the cost of a computer. I could buy one for $1,500 if they had it in stock. I broke down each individual part of the computer, and if I were to buy them individually and build it myself, I was able to do it $600. So instead of, it's less than half. And the thing that kind of boggles my mind is every 4 or 5 years we buy a new computer for someone. It's every 4 or 5 years you buy a new car. When you just needed an oil change and some new tires, you get a whole new car. The way that I'm trying to make this not be a huge burden financially and still be able to get us back up to a normal rotation is by building these computers. If I got a case, like a decent case that was big enough to handle any form factor motherboard, that case could last 2, 3, 4 cycles of a computer. Same with the power supplies. Pretty much the only thing I would see that would need to be really replaced would be like motherboard, CPU. Most people don't need crazy powerful computers here that work for the city. Handful do, to help process. But this way would save so much more money for the city long term, especially because we don't have to keep replacing a whole unit. We can just replace a board and the CPU every 4 years.
How
Now,
long would it take you to build that computer?
if I had every single part here out of the box, just sitting, I could have one together in like 15 minutes. It'd probably take me longer to unbox everything than to put it together. That's personally me. I mean, I'm just quick with my hands, so I'd say like on average, like 30 minutes would probably be like if you took your time that someone could do. If they're
So you'd
used to
save
it.
$900 in 30 minutes?
Yep. Yep. I think it's pretty cool. I like saving money. One thing that really like rung with me, like when I first took this position, a couple things. One thing was something Amy said, talking about the money. She's like, "This is the city, the residents of Vienna's money." I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, kind of like the Spider-Man, great responsibility, great power type spew. And she's so right, and I love that, like that she said that, like because it's not something that you just can play with, like it's something that needs to be taken serious. And anything in here really like that I've asked for is something that I take serious consideration, and it being essential for the city, and even the journey, which I'll get to here in a minute.
Can I have a couple questions about computers before we move
Oh, of
on to the
course.
drone? So, just want to make sure I understand this. So, you are saying there's 52 desktops that need replaced within the city now?
By 2023, that's what the rotation schedule is.
Yes, all the
Showing.
schedule. How many, that's not every computer we have in the city, is it? I mean,
It's not everyone, but it's pretty dang close.
Kim, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm using the mic. Not the best in the world, but my question was, and I'll repeat it just to him, was I was just asking how many computers we have and if they're all needing to be replaced right now.
Yeah, they're not, that's not all the computers we have, and that's up to 2023. And the main thing that why I'm trying to get this caught up quicker than normal is Windows 10 is end of life 2025. And that means that's a big problem I foresee in the future. For instance, the billing and budget, like that whole program is not going to be compatible when we're forced to upgrade to Windows 11.
And so that has the potential of creating a security risk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anything, if you can't update, Adobe, there's a security risk there in the network.
Well, the reason I asked that question is a firewall, right? It's filtering through them to us, and then it filters back through them to the, up again.
Yeah.
Downloads and uploads.
Yeah. Segra, we host our firewall through them. So yeah, everything goes in and out of that firewall, and it's locked down pretty
So
tight.
if you had a computer that you weren't able to upgrade or whatever, then maybe that risk would not be there because of the Segra, or it's still potentially there.
Oh, it would still poke a hole in the network. I mean, it would still cause a way of someone to get in if they find an exploit.
Okay, well, I think I'll have to make an appointment with you to understand the Sager system a little bit better.
I'd love to, explain it all. It's complicated.
Well, it was explained, I don't know, 2 budget cycles ago or whatever, and so that's why I'm confused about it, but I'll ask you more specifically.
Okay. Is there any other questions about like the computer rotation? Initially, I was trying to get, to replace them all, but then like talked with Amy, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, that is crazy. But, that is crazy to do. We couldn't replace them all. And then what? Every 4 years we replace them all. It's not possible. The ones, I was shooting to like for 30 to 35, hopefully. There is 30 for sure. This time next year, they're going to have like their chipset and their motherboards are going to be not supported. Like they're not going to patch them anymore because they're just so out of date. And that's the oldest ones. They're the ones that are wanting to replace now. And I'm thinking because if it's 4 years out, it'll be 2026. So we'll be into Windows 11. So these that are being replaced now have to be able to handle Windows 11 as well, because that's something that we're just going to be forced into. And that's like the end of life 2025. I mean, if you guys want to go sooner with trying to push that Windows 11, I mean, I'm just trying to hold out as long as possible. Just trying to get everything like settled. I've been running around like a maniac for months and months, and I just want everything settled. Take a vacation, that'd be cool. Yeah, any other questions on the desktop part? Okay. The drone, I was listening when you're asking the chief a few different questions. I think when it comes to the drone, it could save lives. And like, that's I guess why I really want to use like not only the big drone but the smaller drones as well. If I have a little like 2 minute video, I know but it would really explain. I could play it now, or if you don't mind. It's just specifically on the Maltese. The reason, like for the battery life on most of these drones don't last long. The Maltese lasts 55 minutes. Why I think the police department and the fire department need like these drones, like search and rescue, 20 minutes or 20 people walk in a field, 20 officers or whatever, like drone in the air, FLIR camera, found them. Like we could find them quick. Accident reconstruction for like wrecks and stuff with the police department, like we'd be able to do that. Surveillance, fire department, like I was reading a little bit about how there's this one department, they used the police department's drone and were able to figure out where in the building the fire was from the FLIR camera because of the heat signature, which was able to get them to be able to get into the building safely and get those people out. I just like I said, I love everyone here, and I just couldn't imagine if there's something I could do, or if I could help save a life or save like someone's health or anything like that. That's like something I'm all for. I don't know how much it costs to call in a helicopter if someone goes missing like a McDonough, and but that doesn't sound cheap. I don't know how many times we do that before we pay off the drone. The disaster relief, if there were that's something like with the fire department, they've been doing a lot of lately. Like if there were to be some crazy catastrophe around here, I mean, a drone would be critical, in my opinion, to be able to get, eyes up in the air, like see what's going on around. There's so many different practical uses for it. Not only that, but like the smaller drones, which don't need, if it's under a certain weight, a license, like a pilot's license or remote pilot's license to use. So I could train officers to have. I've wished that every officer had one of these little drones, especially the SWAT. Like, I mean, if I could throw in a drone into a building real quick and like scope it out, and a person shoots it with a shotgun, like that's awesome, because that's not one of my friends. It's not someone that, it's not an officer. If I could protect the people to protect us, that sounds good to me. And then also, like, we'd be able to, we could map the city. I think that's important for police and just as a city in general for archiving. we'd be able to create a high def, up-to-date map, and we could events. I mean, I could just go on and on about it. If you want to, real quick, show you this video. It just explains what the Maltese is, why it's what it is, and why I'm suggesting we get it. Mainly, it's the battery. Battery life, it's hot swappable.
Every day, good people fight fire, save lives, and keep our world revolving, even in the toughest conditions. In times like these, nothing is more critical than being able to trust your team and your tools. Meet the new Matrice 300 RTK and ZenMuse H20 series. Together, they form the foundation for reinventing the world of work. The Matrice 300 RTK boasts a 55-minute flight time, 15-kilometer transmission range, improved reliability, superior flight performance, and powerful intelligent functions. For the first time ever, dual vision and TOF sensors appear on all 6 sides of the aircraft, providing the Matrice 300 RTK with the ultimate positioning and obstacle avoidance capabilities. Flight, navigation, and obstacle data are presented in the new primary flight display. This provides unprecedented situational awareness. A powerful flying platform requires an equally capable payload. By combining a wide-angle camera, 23 times optical zoom camera, thermal camera, and a laser rangefinder, the ZenMuse H20 series is the optimal match for the Matrice 300 RTK. The new UI lets you quickly scan an area with a wide-angle or thermal camera, preview a subject of interest, and then zoom in to confirm critical details, all with just 2 taps. Combining the intelligence of the Matrice 300 RTK and the versatility of the ZenMuse H20 series yields unprecedented productivity for your field operations. Minimize repetitive work by automating routine missions with AI spot check. You can mark objects of interest after a demo flight. Then the aircraft will replicate the position, angle, and framing automatically for future missions. Save time and get highly detailed imagery of a large area through high-res grid photos. Select an area of interest. Then capture a set of photos with a long-range zoom camera, all with a single tap. In coordinated missions, it is essential yet challenging to synchronize aerial intelligence with ground and command teams. Use the pinpoint function to mark the subject of interest and instantly share the precise location data to your second operator or ground teams via DJI Flight Hub. With Smart Track, you can now automatically detect and track a moving object even in extreme distances while synchronizing the subject's dynamic location in real time. The advanced dual operator mode lets each operator obtain control of the aircraft or payload with a single tap. This creates new possibilities for mission strategies during operations. Efficiency doesn't stop with just software. Downtime is minimized by a hot swappable battery system that keeps power flowing without the need to remove the aircraft. A new quick charging battery station allows for rapid recharging of 4 groups of flight and controller batteries, so you can keep operations going for as long as you need. If that's not enough, the Matrice 300 RTK platform supports up to 3 payloads simultaneously and 2.7 kilograms of total payload weight. Compatibility with DJI's developer tools means you'll have access to a variety of industry-specific solutions for months, years to come. In a world that demands more, reimagine what it means for tools to be tough, reliable, and intelligent. The Matrice 300 RTK and ZenMuse H20 series, rewriting the standard for industrial UAV solutions.
So that's basically just a little bit of why that over like the drone that we already have. Like we have a drone to see. It is a Phantom Pro. Its battery life is about 20 minutes. It does not operate in cold weather. It does not operate when it's raining. It has so many limitations to it. Does anyone have any questions about this room? No? So, there was one more line. Oh, I was asking for $15,000, 59, and that was to continue to upgrade the computers, or not the computers, the camera systems. As I'm looking around, like at the cameras at like the water tanks, those are ubiquity. Those are well past their rotation. There's cameras that are working now, but most of them, like you never know. They could just die at any moment. They're not junk. Most of them are good, especially inside buildings. Like those are like still pristine. It's the ones that are outside that aren't like properly grounded. I'm going around trying to get everything proper. It just takes time. There's only one of me, and then got another guy now, so two of us. So I don't know how to end this. So
I'm
questions?
really happy with what you've accomplished so far. I know you've worked your tail off and it's showing, and we needed that. So thank you for going over kind of the status of where things were when you came in and what you've accomplished. Because honestly, it's kind of concerning to look at that list of things of what was not working. And I am grateful that they are now. So thank you for what you've done so far. Thank you for all the details you've given us here. You've given us a lot to think about. I'm sure several of us are going to follow up with you on some other things.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't even get into the whole like what I see for the future, but that's a discussion for another time.
Great.
I love future's bright.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
All right, Jack.
What I'd like to do is and then go into the tree commission. But while I'm speaking, I want to pass some material around for you to look at. The first thing are two booklets. It's been created by the Tree Commission, Tree and Beautification Commission, that we're going to put into the school systems here in Vienna, and it concerns the city of Vienna. It's to try to involve kids, start getting the community involved in learning about Vienna and being active in Vienna, and this ties right into the Trek Vienna project. The first booklet that I'll start here on the left is for children grades 3 to 5. The second one is pre-K to grade 2. And this is for you to look at. Thanks,
Jack. And will you say again, did you say that these are finished and these are ready to go, or this is something that you're still?
They're finished. These booklets are done and they're ready to be printed and put in.
Okay, great, thank you.
To start off with beautification, we'll just go right down to line item 41, which you see a total there of $90,500. The projects involved in that dollar amount right there would be the city plannings that we've done here in the city of Vienna for several years. I'll go through them just real quickly. It's the Blue Star Memorial Hall's Chocolate, 17 median beds, the Senior Citizen Building, 60th Street median planning, city electronic sign down at Kmart, tennis courts, which are 3 designated beds there, 3 beds at Rosemar Road, Jackson Park entry bed, Park office trailer planters, city building, flower boxes are 17. Flower boxes, 28th Street median planning. Spencer Park, Gold Star Memorial, and the Lake Betsy planner. So there are several things there. Also, in there we've added fall cleanup for the senior center, fall cleanup at Spencer Park, and fall cleanup on the plantings that are done up at the tennis courts. The other thing you see there is Spencer Park, lot at 28th Street and River Road. This is a significant piece of property that the city has. That Vienna was founded by Joseph Spencer. Joseph Spencer's first house in the city of Vienna sat on the 28th Street lot in River Road. It's a beautiful lot that overlooks the Ohio River too. Wanting to do some work on that lot. I've already talked to Craig Metz because we've got a group on the tree commission that's really big into the pollinator plantings. They've pushed for a couple years. We've seem to be headed over into history with Trek Vienna and everything, so trying to keep membership on the board involved. It's a perfect location that we can do a pollinator planting. I've talked to Craig about it. He's all on board for helping with the project, and some of the women on the board are going to be meeting here in February with myself and Craig, and we're going down to the lot and look at it. The other thing we want to do with that lot is, since it is, one of the things about Vienna is actually a historic river town. It's older than Marietta, it's older than Parkersburg, it's older than Wood County. The only problem is Vienna never claims its history. Never did anything with it, never celebrated it, never advertised it. That's what we're trying to do here with some of the Trek projects. But the Spencer lot, we want to put a historic sign down there, much like you see like the Vienna sign. It's up by the Baptist Church where you see Vienna. Vienna didn't have one for years. We got it created and done, the board did, and we want to do the same for Joseph Spencer. A little bit about his history, put it on that lot. We want to put a small shelter there, a small sitting area for people just to go to sit and relax and enjoy the area and appreciate it. The lot's there, we might as well do something with it. Might as well protect it. It's a significant piece of property in the city of Vienna. 30th Street, we want to run electric from the back side of Eagle Park. There's a pole there. I've met with the power company and talked about it. It is available. We want to bring electric out toward where the bus stop is there. Reason being, we've got a plan for there. It's in this budget. It's also in the last budget. If I have it done, by the time this budget comes up, that figure would be around $9,000 to $10,000 less. But we want to put a planter along the front part of that, like an elevated type planter with trees that match the trees in the city and the median, the Winter King hawthorn trees, and at Christmas time, those trees can be lit for Christmas up through there. So it's going to add an attraction right there in the center of Vienna.
Okay.
The Trek beautification, the project's going to actually start. The groundbreaking starts here in February. We hope to have the grand opening for it here in April or May. We're looking at doing a little beautification around the back side of the project, maybe doing some plantings right in there around it. Spencer Landing, I was asked to look at about putting trees down there that would serve as a barricade or a blockade along the Harper property on the north end. That distance along the fence line down there is about 190 feet. I don't know if you're just going to be able to block this fence or if you're going to extend it all the way down through, but that project is in there also to try to do something with that. I don't want to do any tree plantings till we actually know the grade and what actually everything's going to be there, because I don't want to plant and then take up and then replant or move or get into that hullabaloo. So that totals $90,500. Contributions down there is $5,000. I'm looking about a contribution over to Friends of Vienna. New group, 3 years old, trying to get established. A lot of projects going on, developing money within the city, but spending money within the city too. So just a little more to put over to it to to get it going. That's all I've got for beautification. Have you got any questions you'd like to ask me about?
Do you have these things itemized out, like how much each of these, you got city plantings, Spencer's Landing, 28th Street?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have those itemized out that you could get to us?
I can give it to you right now, yeah.
Okay.
The city plantings and watering, care of the city plantings, estimated right around $45,000. Spencer Lot, 28th Street and River Road, $17,000 on that. 10,000 of that would be for the actual shelter and the some of the landscaping right around it, the benches, the seating. $5,000 of that would be for the historic sign. $2,000 would be roughly for the pollinator plantings. The 30th Street electric, $11,500, estimating about $3,000, around $3,000 for the electric and around $8,500, up to $9,000 possibly for the planter out there on the front of the property. The track beautification for up around the actual structure that's going to be there, the brick pavers and everything, $5,500 was an estimate there. Spencer Landing, I'm estimating $16,500 for tree plantings down there at Spencer Landing. So that should cover that.
Okay, on the Eagle Park thing, did you say that, so we're putting electric in, and then did you say we're planting trees there also that match the ones in the median? And
Right,
then those are
trying
what
to
we're
keep
gonna,
some continuity to it there, so it ties in as being a city, so there'll be the Winter King hawthorns that are within the city. But yet, if you try to move some of those planter boxes that are out of there and try to make it just a little more attractive and pull it in a little bit, it's going to be elevated, and there's going to be beds there and some shrubbery and flower plantings and
Okay,
stuff. So
that's
it's going to
what
make a more of an attractive area right
okay,
there.
okay. So
That's what we're
so
looking.
those trees are part of the planter
Yeah.
number, okay.
And part of the Melissa, part of the long term of what we're looking at there is with doing that planning and then with going up to Vienna Baptist Church to the lot where Trek's going to be right there and doing plantings that are going to coordinate with down there. Then through Friends of Vienna and getting participation in Christmas tree lighting, you can visualize that you come into Vienna and then you hit into the middle of Vienna and you've got different Christmas tree lighting and possibilities up through. And we've already got electric coming into Trek Vienna, so there is a vision and there is a plan
Okay.
for it
Yeah,
there.
thank you.
Is there anything else? Any other questions on beautification? Okay, we'll go over to the tree commission side of everything. One of the things I do want to pass around, and this, I would like to stay up here right now because I really don't want this scene out yet. As you know, Trek Vienna's got message boards that are going to be down there. There's going to be 14 panels that we have got Tina Allman, who's done a tremendous amount of work for us of Allman Designs out of Marietta, and she's done marketing work for us. She's done research. And I can tell you in these posters that you're going to see, there are going to be panels that are going to be in those message boards, is the history of Vienna and a lot of stories about Vienna. And to tell you who's been involved with it, the University of North Carolina has been involved with getting us information. Marietta College has been involved with getting us information. Marietta College Library. We recently found some beautiful history on the city of Vienna, and it's located at the University of Michigan. We found letters that were written by Joseph Spencer, the founder of Vienna, to his daughter about life here in Vienna and some of the stories back around 1803. Fabulous stories we got. The university up here has them. We're paying them to digitize, to photo enhance them, and they're being sent to us. We're paying for it. They also are going to go through, it's hard to read the letters, it's hard to read the writing. And I may tell you a brief story here just in a little bit, a fantastic story that of local history and local people, and it's very short. I like to tell it to you because it's pretty interesting. But I want to pass these around. They're in no certain order. These will be about 4 to 5 times this size. They will be in message boards. There are different topics for the city of Vienna, for Trek Vienna. We've had archaeologists involved from Vienna that have worked on projects here that have given us information. Vienna has an amazing amount of history that you just wouldn't believe. One of the history things that I will tell you very quickly is an oil company that began here in the city of Vienna called Carter Oil, and they had offices here in Vienna. And you probably never heard of Carter Oil Company. The Carter Oil Company went ahead and became Humble Oil. Did you ever hear of Humble Oil Company? Humble Oil Company went ahead and became Exxon, was bought out by Exxon. So Carter Oil had one of their first offices founded. Carter Oil worked right here in the city of Vienna. Just interesting, some of the history and some of the stuff that you find out about the area. Under Tree Commission, which is 600, line item 30, contract services, 25,900. That includes my pay, removal, root feed, insect and disease control for the trees on Grand Central. We had a little bit of problem with some of the trees. We had them root fed last year. I think it was roughly $1,250. Insect and disease, we're starting to get a little bit of a trouble with the lacewing fly. And there, I don't think it's not a significant thing, but it might be something we decide to treat this year. Removals, city have been very proactive, as you know, over the years, removing trees. I think that's actually starting to slow down a little bit. So we're being a little more selective on what we're considering to be extremely hazard trees and remove them because we got so many other projects going on, but we aren't neglecting something that actually has to be handled. The contract services total is 2,500. That's mulch. That's for the median trees on Grand Central. We didn't mulch them last year. We may come back and do it again this year. When you get down to line item 68 and you see $35,000, and out from that, you see Trek Vienna edited drone flight video board. What that is about, $35,000 total. What we are looking at with that, I'm going ahead and moving ahead right now on what we're calling phase 2. That's actually phase 2 of Trek Vienna. I don't want to wait, be doing this project, finishing up, and then waiting for money to become available in July. So what I'm going ahead and doing is I already went to one foundation in Parkersburg today to present this topic to them, Trek Vienna. When I'm talking to the foundation, what I'm telling them is this involves community. This involves all age groups of people, from children up to adults. This involves exercise because it's going to involve walking and trails on city streets along with the history component that's going to be right there at the station, at the church. So I'm going to be speaking to two foundations. I was scheduled to speak Saturday at the Daughters of the American Revolution. I'm going to speak next Saturday because of the weather. They're very interested in Trek Vienna and the history component of this area. So I will, that 35,000 that you're seeing right there, I'm hopefully significantly going to eliminate that. It's not that I know that you all in the city hasn't supported the project, because you've all been very gracious. You've been interested in it. You've supported it. It's wonderful. The community has supported it. What I would like to see is an investment in it, because when we're advertising, when we have names up down there, the more names that we have that are involved within it, the project, the more base that it gives, and the more it's about community. So I'm going to put every effort in possible to try to get the money that we can from other forms. As you see, the total down there for the Tree Commission is $63,500. I'm just looking here. I just want to read this quick letter to you that University of Michigan found for us, and regarding Spencer. It's just briefly, it's going to give you a wonderful taste of the history at this time period in this area. She they got the letter transcribed, and the story is about this area. And the story is about a duel that took place between Stephen R. Wilson and Alexander Henderson. Henderson was the father of George Washington Henderson, who established Henderson Hall. Apparently, there was a disagreement between Wilson and Henderson that took place when a group of gentlemen were having drinks at an inn. This resulted in name-calling and accusations that Henderson had spoke disrespectfully of one of Sarah's sisters, which ended up with Wilson calling out Henderson in a duel. Stephen R. Wilson was married to Joseph Spencer's daughter, Sarah. So the one guy spoke bad about the other guy. They were having drinks in a bar, and they ended up going out to a duel. The account says the duel took place on October the 8th, 1805, on a bluff overlooking Blennerhassett Estate. Henderson was shot in the thigh, and Wilson was wounded in the knee, which shattered. But Dr. Spencer attended to the men. Wilson attempted to establish the first bank in Wood County, but the venture was unsuccessful. It's just pretty interesting when you uncover history about duels taking place in the area, and it being that the founder of your city was the doctor that attended to the person with the knee, and it was overlooking Blennerhassett Island. So it's amazing the stuff that's been uncovered, and I hope when the Trek project, when it's all done and said, will be there. As I said, the Trek Vienna, the edited drone, we're actually looking about doing 3 drone flights, and these will be professionally done. What I want to show is the area of Briscoe Run, down through Briscoe Run is where when the Briscoe family first came here, they came into the Briscoe Run area and settled. And it's amazing history about the time and the battle with the Indians and everything that they had. Also want to have a drone flight that shows Vienna Island. There's unbelievable stories about the Vienna Island and the Neal Island and the riverfront and George Washington passing through here and all that took place in front of Vienna. Vienna was actually mentioned in the halls of Congress as being a wonderful place for the capital of the country at one time. So there's a lot of history, a lot of stuff out there, a lot of things to tell. That's where I'm at with my budget. Are there any questions? Sure.
I have a friend whose father's name was Samuel Spencer Stone.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of I bought a house one time and his dad's name was on the part of the Spencer Stone farm. And he lives down in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And I think if you'd like to have his phone number, I think if you gave him a call, he might give you some additional history. And he has a
I would love to do that.
He has an original signature of George Washington when he was here doing the surveying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard of George.
Right, yeah, a little bit. He chopped down a cherry tree, didn't he?
That's a rumor. And anyway, I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, sure. That's great. And I imagine once we get this up, there's going to be a lot more stories coming out, a lot more everything. There's stories out there, and so I want to clarify some stuff. Friends of Vienna only was interested in taking over the basket, the hanging flower basket. There's no interest from that group in taking over anything else regarding the beautification of the city. It's simply the flower baskets. And what it did, it really made a wonderful way for people to get involved with it. It's no fun hanging those little metal signs. I can tell you on Grand Central Avenue that hang down from the little baskets, it makes you wonder. But it's really been enjoyable. In fact, I've already been contacted, in addition to what we've already had, 12 other families that have said, we really want to get involved with that project. Christmas, the lighting of the trees up Grand Central, we've had 2 or 3 other businesses and pretty big businesses contact us and say, we'd really like to they have visions of lighting Grand Central. I don't know if it ever gets that far, but it's great to have a vision. So that's all I got for you. Did you enjoy the posters?
Very, very nice, Jack. Very nice.
All right, thank you all. Have a good rest of the evening. It might be a little slick out there.
Probably.
Amy?
Jack, it's good looking stuff. It really is.
Yes. Would you tell us what we're going to do the next time?
I'll say it again. So next meeting, we'll come forward with the rest of the, department head presentations along with whatever normal business for the first meeting, regular meeting of the month that we would normally have to do.
Okay, all right, that's fine, thank you. And we will have a council, our first regular meeting is February the 10th, so we will have council again next week.